Good morning, Malacanang Press Current guest. Welcome sa regular press briefing ni Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Let me begin with the good news. The Board of Investments reported that investments last month had a 538% surge, or an increase of more than sixfold from last year's 8 billion January figures to this year's 51.3 billion. The Department of Trade and Industry reported that the biggest project approved for January came from Apo Agua Infrastructura in Davao, worth 13.3 billion. There were also three solar facilities of Solar Philippines Commercial Rooftop Projects Inc., two in Cavite and one in Nueva Ecija, with a combined cost of 25.9 billion and a total power capacity of 587 megawatts. Clean Green Energy Corporation is likewise constructing its 12 megawatt biomass energy plant in Bulacan worth 1.5 billion. With an economic momentum on our side, we expect to achieve our year-end target of 680 billion. More good news, we welcome the recent report of the Philippine Statistics Authority on the increase of the country's 2017 banana production from 8.903 million metric tons in 2016 to 9.166 million metric tons. No? This growth can be attributed to the increase in area and number of bearing hills harvested from the plantation farms in northern Mindanao, additional expansion areas from corporate farms in Socsargen, and relatively good weather last year. Now, there are 545 CLOA farmer beneficiaries in North Cotabato. No? So these CLOAs were distributed to farmers from 7 municipalities in North Cotabato. Recipient municipalities include Kidapawan City, Arakan, Magpet, Milang, President Roxas, Tulunan, and Micalala. On the Mayon update, as we were having our cabinet meeting, it was reported that as of 10 p.m. last night, there was another minor eruption of Mayon volcano. No? Yusek Sulidum was in attendance in yesterday's cabinet meeting. No? Now, so far, I will confirm that in addition to the 20 million cash handed by the president when he visited Albay, the PCSO has also approved a further 30 million to Albay. No? But the total assistance given by national agencies to Albay, in addition to the cash from the president and the cash from PCSO, is already at 113,498,000 worth of assistance. No? Now, the president promised to increase his cash advance to the province from 20 to 50 million. As promised, I have 3 items to report on the cabinet meeting. Number 1, I confirm that the president ordered that henceforth only Filipinos will be allowed to conduct scientific research, lay submarine cables, and explore and exploit for natural resources in the Philippine Rice. The president also enjoined all members of the cabinet to refer to the area as Philippine Rice and not as Benham Rice. Now, all licenses for scientific research are deemed canceled, although I was informed this morning by Yusek Joel of the DFA, which serves as the chair of the interagency technical working group responsible for the grant of licenses, scientific licenses to conduct research in the Philippine Rice, that all research had already been concluded in the area, which is probably why the president ordered that henceforth only Filipinos now can conduct scientific research and only Filipinos can explore and exploit natural resources in the Benham Rice. Also in the cabinet meeting, the entire cabinet reaffirmed the president's directive that we will continue to look for ways and means to effect an increase in the teacher's salary, but beginning 2020, not 2019. The rationale for this is the last tranche of the salary standardization law, the increase in the last tranche under the SSL will be implemented in 2019. Now, the effort is not just to look for ways and means to increase the salary of all public school teachers, it is also to increase the salaries of all workers in the public sector. So it's teachers and the public sectors. Also on the third telco, there was a request from Officer in Charge Secretary Rio that they be given 2 additional months or until May um, to award and to ensure that the third telecoms carrier is up and about. This was not approved in yesterday's cabinet meeting. So we stick it out with the original time frame of a third telecoms player by March of this year. The president was emphatic and issued a warning to the detractors of the entry of the third telecoms player not to test the will of government. The president was particularly displeased with the fact that in order to have a third telecoms player, we would need to find frequencies to be allotted to the third telecom player. And he was displeased with the fact that frequency given to a shell company, Cure, which apparently was given for free, would have to be bought back by government in order that the third player could be given these frequencies. The president rejected that proposal that we pay for frequencies that we gave out for free, and he warned everyone involved not to test the resolve of the president in allowing a third telecoms carrier to enter the country. Questions?
Question, Rose Sabinario.
Well, ano po yan, na idulog ko na rin po sa DBM at sa DepEd at gumagawa naman po sila ng hakbang. Parang meron lang unliquidated pang halaga ang DepEd at inaayos lang po nila yung mga figura at nagre-reconcile sila ng accounts para po mailabas na yung performance bonus. Well, ang sabi ko nga po, kinakailangan mailabas na yan sa lalong mabilis na panahon. Wala pong time frame pero sabi ko urgent naman na ilabas na yan and they're saying that nagre-reconcile lang sila ng mga figures.
Okay, follow up. Other issue, Pia Ronyado.
Sir, just to clarify on Benham Rice. So, sir, the president is
Philippine rice.
Philippine Rice is only banning foreign research, but
Yes.
access to it is not. Wala namang order to.
Well,
ban
of course,
since-
under UNCLOS, everyone is entitled to freedom of navigation because this is an exclusive economic zone. So navigation can proceed, but henceforth, no scientific research will be allowed and no other foreign entity will be allowed to explore and exploit for natural resources in the area.
And sir, given that now he's only allowing Filipino-only research there, did he also give directives on funding to make sure that we actually get to conduct research in the Philippine Rice?
There was no indication on funding. He just said, because our sovereign rights in Benham, in Philippine rice, is unquestioned, we do not need to share it with anyone as of now. He came up anyway with an assessment that as of now, everything is preliminary. And he even joked, we have enough fish for the time being. We don't need foreigners to assist us in getting our fish in the Philippine rice.
Sir, can you confirm that the ship Ke Shui Hao has left the Philippines?
It had concluded its scientific research. There are no foreign entities conducting scientific research, and I was informed of this fact by the DFA at around 9:30 this morning.
Okay, thank you, Pia. Follow up, Ian Cruz to be followed by Ina Andolong.
Alin? Hindi ko po alam. I just had to verify if there will be affected the ongoing scientific research, but I was assured that although there were more than 30 licenses issued since we were awarded an extended continental shelf by the UN Commission on the extended continental shelf, that all research had been concluded.
Apo. Sir, sabi po ni Associate Justice Carpio, may kapangyarihan ng Pilipinas sa pagbawalan ng China na magsagawa ng exploration at research sa Philippine rice ang China dahil nga daw po tumanggi silang sumunod dun sa arbitral ruling.
Well, we're just asserting that only Filipino companies and Philippine entities can conduct the research. No particular reason was given other than it's undisputably subject to our sovereign rights.
Inandolong, follow up. Microphone, Pia, thank you.
Hi, sir. Sir, earlier, si Secretary Alan Cayetano said that the President expressed approval for the conduct of China's research over Benham rice. So, with this pronouncement, does that mean na hindi po yun pala yung
No,
naging scenario before?
the Chinese concluded the research.
Mhm.
And that's why the president now has said, with everyone having concluded the research, we will now limit it to Filipinos. The conduct of research should now be limited to Filipinos.
Okay, so basically, sir, yung Chinese research was still allowed by the President?
Yes, it was allowed.
Sir, there are proposals for or calls na dapat to po yung research na na-conclude na whatever was collected by Chinese officials be confiscated. What do you say to that?
What I know is, according to the guidelines, they must be shared with Filipino scientists. And one of the entities that conducted the joint scientific research was the UP Institute of Maritime Studies. No?
Mhm. Thank you, sir.
Okay, follow up. Si Rose muna, then Philip and Pia. Microphone.
Hello ulit, sir. Sir,
Hi.
sa ikalulubag lang ng damdamin ng Malacanang press corps, allowed po ba talaga si Secretary Manny Piñol na mag-break po ng mga napag-uusapan sa cabinet meeting, sa social media?
Well, the express order of the president yesterday was for the office of the spokesperson to make the announcement today.
So magmula po ngayon, kayo na po yung ang official na mag-a-announce lang, wala na pong iba.
There's even an executive order to that effect.
So i-remind po natin yung iba pang cabinet members tungkol dun sa executive order na yun.
No, in the spirit of collegiality, I'd rather not. No, but I think every cabinet member knows the existence of that executive order.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, si Philip and then sino ba yung susunod? Pia and Pia. Philip muna. Philip, Nestor, paabot ng microphone. Salamat.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning,
Um,
Philip.
Ano po yung rason na binigay ng Pangulo kung bakit niya pinagbawal ang research ng mga dayuhan sa Philippine rice?
You know, it was not in the agenda, no? But he started the meeting by saying, perhaps because there is no dispute on our sovereign rights in Benham rice, and because all research had been concluded, we should now declare this as exclusively for Filipinos. It was really more of a statement. There was no discussion on the matter.
May nabanggit po kasi Secretary Piñol na meron daw pong statement ng isang foreign diplomat about ownership of the Philippines sa PH rice.
Well, you know, let's just say that there was something to that effect mentioned by the president, but and supposedly he read it in a briefing, but I get the same briefing and I have not found it. No, but I will check because there's one briefing that I'm unable to open in my cell phone. No, but no, I think it's just the fact that where there's a dispute, then let us explore joint exploration, joint scientific researches. But where there is no dispute, then for now, let's limit it to Filipinos. Now, it's not an absolute rule. He said that henceforth, all those who want to conduct research in Philippine rice must, in addition, get the permission of the National Security Advisor, Secretary Atty. Secretary, not Atty. tuloy, Esperon. I'm stand corrected. Secretary Esperon.
Hermanos. Sir, yung results po nung study ng Chinese, do we still expect them to share it with us?
Yes, that's in the guidelines. That's a requirement.
Kailan po kaya nila ibibigay yan?
I leave it to the Filipino co-researchers, no, to obtain it.
May ano po ba, preliminary na share sa
I
palasyo?
do not know. I'm only announcing what the president said last night in the cabinet meeting.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Last two on China. 3. Pia Gutierrez, Pia Ranyada, and Ina.
Sir, clarify ko lang yung sagot nyo kanina. So, foreign groups or other countries can still apply for
Yes,
permits?
yes. He says that although all scientific research permits are deemed canceled, any new application, in addition to an application to be filed with the Interagency Technical Working Group, will have to make a separate application with the Office of the National Security Advisor.
So, parang banned, sir?
Well,
Or do you have
there's
to
a
reapply
revocation of all licenses,
Oh.
and henceforth, any foreign entity that wishes to conduct research can apply to the usual body, and in addition, there must be personal approval of the National Security Advisor.
Sir, so if I'm a foreign entity, sir, and I have a pending request for a license to conduct explorations there, all I have to do is to reapply, ganun ba, sir?
Yeah, you have to apply to the interagency, and you must get the personal approval of the National Security Advisor.
Sir, you also mentioned there are more than 30 foreign licenses have been
Yes.
issued. All of them finished na yung...
All of them finished, I was told.
So aside from China, sir, anong mga bansa po ito?
Can I have the cell phone? Wait, I will read for you.
So that's 30, sir, 30.
I will read for you the numbers. Okay. USA, this is from 2000 to the present. USA, 13 granted. China, I will read the application and the granted or denied. USA, 13 applications, granted 13. China, 18 applications, granted 2, denied 11. Japan, 9 applications, granted 9. Korea, 4 applications, granted 4. Germany, 2 applications, denied 2. But I was told that all these researches from 2000 to the present have concluded.
Pia Ranyada.
So, sir, how different is this policy? I mean, the only thing that seems different is that there's another step, which is to get the approval of the NSA. So it's not really a ban on foreign exploration and scientific research.
Well, it's not really a ban. I guess it's just a directive that we want Filipinos to do it as much as possible. No, that we're reserving it for Filipinos. No.
Ina Andolong.
Sir, similar lang because at the start you said that only Filipinos from now on can conduct research.
Yes,
and
but
then
there was
now
that
you're
coletilla. Yes, there was
and
that
then now you're
coletilla that he
saying-
said all, because I had to clarify it. No, so what's the status? Because I read the same numbers. No, so what's the status? They're all canceled. If they want to apply, they must in addition get the personal approval of the National Security Advisor.
Sir, is there any reason why the president saw the need for additional procedure or specifically getting the approval of the National Security Advisor?
Obviously, it's national security issue.
Okay. So again, sir, pwede pa rin ang foreign basta they apply and they secure all the
Let's
necessary
put it
permits.
this way. He has caused the revocation of all licenses given to foreign entities to conduct scientific research in the Philippine Rise. Henceforth, all foreign companies that wish to conduct such scientific research must apply to the interagency and must get approval from the National Security Advisor. But all existing licenses are deemed revoked.
Thank you, sir.
Last on Philippine Rise, Vito Barcelon and Barcelo, sorry. And Ted, last 2. Microphone. Microphone. Ito, microphone. Sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you, Ted.
Sir, good morning. Sabi po ninyo, Filipino lamang ang pwedeng mag-explore dun sa Benham Rise. What a Filipino makipag-partner sa foreign investors?
They
Papayagan
need
din
to
po ba?
comply with the 60-40 rule because a Philippine corporation is 60% owned by Filipinos.
Okay, thank you. Ted, last.
Sir, could we just ask kung ano po yung mga licenses na na-revoke, sir? Nabanggit po ba ni Presidente?
Inisa-isa ko na ngayon.
Ay, sorry.
Okay, thank you, Ted. Other issue. Philip,
So,
I'm
before
sorry.
we move on, sir, I understand yung figure na yon hindi naman yata solely for Benham Rice yung figure na yon. Kasama yata yung Luzon Strait doon.
I'm reading from a memorandum of the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. This is to the executive, to the president, no? And these are MSR applications in Philippine Benham rice.
Okay, thank you, Philip Tobesa. Other issue na to.
Sir, lipat lang po sa kabila. Sa West Philippine Sea naman. Sabi po ni Senior Associate Justice Carpio na kowtowing to China or appeasing China would only embolden Beijing to militarize the
That's
South
his
China Sea.
judgment. The president does not kowtow to any other country. The president is accountable to the Filipino people. He is adopting a policy that he thinks is best to serve the Philippine interest. He may have a different perception of what is best to the Philippine interest. My challenge is get out of the judiciary, get into policy making, or even run for president.
Follow-up, sir. He's saying that the palace should at least file a protest.
I do not know if another protest will be filed. I have confirmed that we have filed many protests already. So I do not know if daily protests are necessary depending on the actual state of completion of these facilities. You know what I'm saying? It's not as if we did not file any protests. We have. But whether or not we should do so on a daily basis, that's something that the DFA will determine. But I would think that once we have protested, what we deem is an act that threatens international peace in the area, then that is a continuing protest.
Would this issue kaya, sir, be raised in the bilateral committee meeting, yung bilateral mechanism between the Philippines and China?
We have frank and open and regular discussions with Chinese officials. The problem is you're inquiring about the fact that construction has been completed. So there's been discussions from the time that they reclaim to the time that they have put in improvements to the time that they are finishing to the time that it has finished. That's why I said yesterday, this is not really news. It's been there, no? So whether or not you want us to protest daily, I do not know if that is wise. We can even protest every minute if you want. Maybe someone can volunteer to protest every minute if they want.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, other issue? Catherine Valente.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon po. Sir, may we know lang po yung real situation sa NFA Rice? Meron po ba
thank
talagang
goodness.
short? Okay po.
Well, I just talked to, because I promised to address this. No, I just talked to Cabsec, Ibasco. In fact, I invited him to join us, but he had just landed in Jensan. He says that situation really is under control. There's a standby order for 250,000 metric ton of rice. So, of course, we will not allow our inventory to be depleted.
Follow up on NFA rice? Other issue? Okay. Ina, no more? Okay, Philip. Microphone.
Sir, clarification lang po dun sa telco, sa third player. Kasi you mentioned yesterday na the president before stated that it would be China. So tama po ba na parang sila na, yung China Telecom na, or magkakaroon pa po ng bidding in March?
As I said, it was offered. It appears to have been accepted, but we need to comply with all legal requirements, including the holding of a bidding. So while we have offered it, they will participate in the bidding.
Okay.
So hindi pa rin po sigurado na sila.
Well, let's just say that let's separate diplomatic from the day-to-day realities on the ground. No? So we honor our commitment as a sovereign state, but there has to be compliance with local procedures.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, MPC, Catherine.
Sir, may nagpapatanong lang po regarding po dun sa third telco. Yung Globe and PLDT paid for their frequency to government. Does the President want them to return
They
this
did
for
not
free?
pay for the frequencies. They bought it from an entity that got it for free from the country. Frequencies are owned by the state. They were given for free. And the president last night was emphatic. Since we gave these frequencies for free, he will not allow the holders to benefit from a free privilege by charging us anything to enable the third telecoms carrier to operate. Unfortunately, I left my notebook because I wrote down verbatim what the president said. It included a lot of curse words.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Rose Novenario.
Ay, sir. Sir, pwede niyong banggitin kung sino yung tinukoy ni Presidente na nagbenta ng frequency na ibinigay sa kanya ng libre?
Hindi pa nga nagbebenta. Sisingilin daw tayo. Naniningil.
Sino yun, sir? Sige na, sir.
It's enough.
Kakasuhan yan, sir. Kakasuhan niya.
The president just said, do not test my results. Sayang, wala yung notebook ko. Gusto niyo bang basahin ko yung mga mura-mura?
Follow up, Ian Cruz.
Okay, it's enough to say that the warning is, quote, do not fuck with government, unquote.
Secretary, ilan po bang mga frequency ang nakasign sa Globe and Smart? Na legal talagang dapat nasa kanila para magkaroon yung susunod na telecom?
Offhand, hindi ko alam. But there was a mention yesterday of about 300, I forget what the measurement is. 300 mega, I don't know if it's megahertz, but 300 will be given to the third telecoms carrier, which would have been enough. And that this would be sourced from various sources, no? Including a frequency to a shell company that has since been bought by a very big telecoms company. Now, there was also talk about using Transco, and the president said, we will use Transco because that is ours. The facilities of Transco. Again, a warning, do not impede the operation of a third telecoms company.
Okay, Chris Jose.
Sir, may panawagan po sa Senator Gatchalian kay Pangulo na magtalaga na po ng dalawang bagong commissioners ng COMELEC dahil para daw po hindi maantala yung paghahanda for the elections.
The president knows that. That will be forthcoming.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, MPC, Henry Uri.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Secretary, how the palace are going to dispute the latest allegation of Senator Trillanes? Pupunta ba kayo sa Senado? Pupunta ba ang Pangulo? May papapadala ba siyang mga tauhan doon para harapin sakali na imbitahan ang Office of the President or the first family to answer all the allegations?
He who alleges must prove. Let's see the documents. Let's see if they're authenticated. And it has always been our position, without authentication, all these documents are hearsay. So what's there to dispute?
Sa inyong pag-uusap na kayong dalawa lang ang Pangulo, meron bang sinasabi sa inyo ang Pangulo, ano bang masamang tinapay sa kanya talaga ni Senator Trillanes? Bakit hindi siya tinatantanan?
Wala naman po siya nababanggit. Pero talagang sabi niya, sanay naman ako dyan. Doon sa Davao, meron talagang wala rin ng tao, isang tao doon na hindi siya tinantanan. So okay lang.
Okay, thank you, Henry.
Alright.
Happy birthday.
Salamat po.
Okay,
Happy birthday.
MPC, okay.
Follow up,
Ian.
sir. Sir, ang nabanggit po yata ni Senator Cheese, hindi yata iimbitahan, pero kung gusto raw ng Pangulo na pumunta, welcome siya doon sa Senado.
Kung may dahilan sana, kaso nga, wala namang authentication yung mga dokumento, ba't natin pag-aaksayan ng panahon? Hinahayaan namin magdesisyon ng Senado dahil sila ay co-equal branch of government, pero kung walang authentication, paano ka mag-iimbestiga? Meron ka namang secrecy of bank deposit laws.
Okay, thank you, Malacanang Press Corps. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, guest. And back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas. and People's
Tago niyo
Television
lahat yan.
Network.
Tago niyo. Okay, thank you.